Welcome to the Stress Free Dentist Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Block. As always, I want to inspire, entertain, and educate you on the best tools and technologies out there. My goal is to help make your practice and career more profitable, efficient, and most importantly, more enjoyable. And check out all of my nonfiction and children's books on Amazon. And check out the stressfreedentist.com for any upcoming events. And if you're feeling you're a dental professional that's burnt out, or you just feel stuck or want to get to that next level, visit the International Academy of Dental Life Coaches or www.iadlc.com, and we'll get you matched up with a life coach that understands dentistry. I also wanted to thank our amazing sponsor, Equa Marketing. They have helped me and my practice over the years to improve with SEO and website performance. And to find out how you can make your practice dominate in your area, go to www.equa.com/MSMSFD to book your complimentary meeting. Again, that's www.ekwa.com/MSMSFD. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. And today I'm joined by a returning guest, a friend of mine, and coach extraordinaire, Dr. Laura Brenner. How's it
Hey,
going?
Blocky. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. We did our first episode. It seemed like 20 years ago, but it was probably about 4 years ago. And for those who don't know, Laura Brenner is a dentist. She doesn't practice dentistry anymore. We actually met initially when we were at Tulane University. And then I heard her on a podcast years later, and I was like, wait a second, I know her, and she's a dentist? What? So we got reacquainted, and Laura's got quite the story. And now we're actually co-founders of the IADLC, which you can see Laura's background there. They're International Academy of Dental Life Coaches. So we're going to get into all that stuff. Laura, just give me a real quick intro of kind of your origin story, how you got to where you are today.
Okay, yeah, and while I'm at it, I realized I just kind of look like a floating head because I'm wearing gray.
Just
Our
yeah, just
background
you're
is
just a head
gray.
floating around. It's the beauty of
Just a floating head.
Zoom
Anyway,
backgrounds.
yeah. So, how did I get started in this? Well, I always thought I wanted to go to dental school and become a dentist, and as a kid, I really liked it, and school was good. I thought it was going to be the career that was going to fulfill all of my life dreams. And then I got out into the real world and it was hard. And I knew that I just had to work through the tough times and have that grit and get better with every year that went by. And then year three hit. And it was getting better. I was getting better, but I still felt a lot of pain, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, even a little bit of depression that I hid very well from myself because I tend to be a pretty upbeat person. I didn't recognize that the depression was there until years later. But I just, after 3 years, it was like, this isn't getting better. And that made me feel hopeless. So I thought I wanted to have a career change and I did a couple of things to try to make that happen. But then I made lots of excuses and found lots of reasons to stay in dentistry, and it was probably the right thing for me, even though I call those excuses. It was just fear. I couldn't imagine ever being or doing anything else or changing. And eventually, after the next 7 years, so 10 years total in practice of just this up and down roller coaster of, you know, trying to make it okay, investing everything. I went to Panky 4 times, trying to tell myself how much I loved it, just really realizing that it wasn't filling me my cup and it wasn't making me happy. And getting an ultimatum from my husband, he actually gave me permission when he said, "We can't do this anymore. You need to sort it out. I don't care what we have to do. Let's make a change." And ultimately, I needed to give myself that permission. And 10 years after starting in dental practice, I found a way to leave. And I left dentistry completely. And then years later, took me 6 more years to really give myself permission to pursue career coaching for other dentists who were experiencing similar things that I was. That in 2000, from 2004 to 2011 in my career, nobody was talking about this stuff, and I had zero support. So it was very exciting for me to say, let's just do this. And here we are.
You actually, I when I first talked to you, you were the first person that ever said the words life coach to me that, and I didn't know what it was. So I asked you then, and I'm going to ask you now, what is a life coach? And it seems like maybe your niche, I love saying niche instead of niche because it makes me sound more intelligent, but what is your niche helping people or dental professionals with their career?
Yes. So the life coach is sort of an umbrella over any kind of, really all coaching falls under life coaching. Because when you go and get your coaching certification, they're going to teach you that you can specialize. So you could do transition coaching, you could do life purpose coaching, you could do career coaching, you could do executive coaching, business coaching. And all of those different kinds of coaching fall under the umbrella of the same principles that we use in life coaching. So, a funny little fact that I'll share with you, Blocky, is that, by the way, don't you love that I can't call you anything else now? It's like you're just
It's
Blocky to me. It's just,
like
sorry, Dr. Eric Block, you're Blocky. Um, but
permission granted. You can call me Blocky forever.
okay, good. Yeah. So it just stuck. But, the funny thing is sometimes there's a little bit of a stigma about the word life coach. The words, I guess it's two words, the words life coach or life coaching. And when I began coaching in dentistry, I felt like calling myself a career coach. Well, one, it does describe so much more what I do. It is career centered. And part of it was my intention was to say, this is really specific to your career, but, and also, dentists, we are very scientific. We're a little skeptical. We might think that life coaching is woo woo, or there are some life coaches out there that don't resonate with us. So I deliberately said I wanted to be a career coach, not a life coach. But the more work I do, the more I recognize that we are whole beings. We are integrated, right? You could use the word holistic, not in the weird woo woo way, but holistic as in whole. And when we try to separate and compartmentalize our career life from our personal life, we walk around totally disjointed. So what I've learned is that even if I'm a career coaching you, this is about your whole life because your career is 90%, I don't know what percentage of your waking life. Part of us really use it to define who we are. So it is really so much bigger and more profound than saying, "Oh, we're just going to get a job, a different job." There's so much more involved in it. It really integrates the values of life coaching. So to actually get to your answer, life coaching, like what we do is no matter what we're helping someone specifically, the niche, as you love to say, what we're helping them focus on is really about coaches bring out that we partner with our clients to bring out the best in them so that we're not telling them what to do. We're not giving advice. We're actually like I always say to people, I'm not here to get you to quit dentistry. I'm here to get you to do what you want to do. And sometimes we need someone else to be that mirror to reflect back on us what we really want. And that's what we do as coaches.
You said the word client that's different than like therapy, where you're a patient under a licensed therapist, someone that often goes back into your childhood or maybe they prescribe medications. What in your definition, what's the difference between a life coach and what you do and a therapist?
Yeah, I would say a simple way of differentiating the two, in addition to what you've said, is therapy is about looking back and healing. And there is some level of we're healing dysfunction. Uh, and coaching is looking forward. It's much more solution oriented. The two work great together. And as coaches, we're not therapists. So, I think it's really important for us to make that distinction and say, we are not therapists. We don't help you heal your traumas. But sometimes just having that forward momentum and that solution and action oriented process is so important to help us grow and evolve and become who we want to be in life.
Do you find that some dentists or dental professionals they're uncoachable? And if so, is it just them kind of getting in their own way and they're just fighting through that pain and they're just gonna, you know, do what they've always done, just work harder, study harder, get good grades like they've always done and just work through the pain? Are some people just not coachable?
I love that question. And that is the topic I submitted to your book. It was the stress-free dentist, right?
Hmm.
I shared that part in your book. So I love this topic because as a coach, we really get to be non-judgmental of other people. And by the way, that has been so helpful for me personally to practice non-judgment, or at least less judgment. We're all human. But so when we think about being uncoachable, I think that can be a pretty judgy thing to say about someone. And with that, yeah, some people really are uncoachable because they're not willing to look in the mirror. They're not willing to show up. But I believe that so often someone seems uncoachable, but they're actually not. Which double negative, not uncoachable, is that they are actually coachable. And what the reason that they seem uncoachable is because there's a misalignment. So, to give you an example, the people I work with, I love working with people who really like dentistry, but they're burnt out and they want to fix it. And I love working with people who are honest with themselves and say, I really don't like this work. It's not for me. I want change. But you know who I don't like to work with anymore and I won't work with anymore are people who they know the truth is that they really just hate this or they don't like it or it's not for them, whatever words you want. But they're trying to fit themselves the square peg into the round hole and try to make dentistry better. And you know what happens? Because they know the truth for them is that they need to find a change and they're not listening to themselves. They're not honoring what they know they need. They don't show up for appointments. They don't do their homework. They never follow through. And that can be seen as uncoachable, but I would say it's really a misalignment. So I would invite anybody who feels like they're maybe uncoachable to ask yourself, well, is the kind of coaching I'm getting in line with what I know I want my result to be?
It sounds like how dentists often complain about patients, that don't show up, they don't do their homework, aka they're not flossing or taking care of their teeth, and yet, we get all upset. Often dentists aren't, being true to themselves. They're not looking at themselves in the mirror, and they're not realizing that there's a problem that they got to take action. So I totally agree with you. You also said something before that a coach may not resonate with someone or someone may not resonate with a coach. Is that true where sometimes if you talk to a coach, they just may not be the right fit for you and there may be other coaches out there that are?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's true for anybody, right? It's true for as the dentist. You're not everybody's dentist, right? And we're not everybody's coach. It's so important to find someone that you feel comfortable with and that you trust. And let's also take responsibility as coaches here. We don't have to take responsibility, for the wrongs that other coaches that we don't know in the world have done. But let's say that we acknowledge that sometimes there are coaches who have, not delivered what they promised. And that's just like in dentistry as well with patients and the dental team. It's like, let's each take responsibility. So if I'm going to sit here and say you may be uncoachable or you may seem uncoachable, I also want to acknowledge you may have had a bad experience with a coach. I've actually way overpaid for coaches, thinking that maybe it was the right program for me and it turned out to be totally wrong timing, but I was trusting that coach. But that doesn't make me give up on coaches or coaching, right? So the more open-minded we can all be, the better. But this is why, what I love about what we do at IADLC is we bring together different life coaches in dentistry so that we can all learn and grow from each other. And if we know that someone's a better fit for someone, we can share that, and we can connect and help people find. It's not our. It's definitely something we love to help people with. Is like if you're looking for a coach and you're not sure, we love helping find that and create that for people. But that's why it's so important to talk to more than one coach to see who fits you best.
Yeah, earlier you said the word umbrella, and that's what I feel like the IADLC brings is an umbrella of coaches with, different specialties. You may be someone that's looking for a coach that's just a male. You may be looking for a coach that's just a female, someone who's a hygienist, someone who's a dentist, someone who's a career coach. We try to have someone for everyone. But like you said, it may not, hit on the first try, but at least you're getting out there, you're taking the action, you're talking to coaches. How much does it actually help to work with a coach? Let's say, let me give you two scenarios. One is I'm just really burned out. I'm depressed. I've just, I feel like I regret choosing dentistry as a profession. Or a second scenario is like, I'm actually doing pretty good, but I just want to get better.
Yeah, I love that because we could go from being in a lot of pain to just tolerating, and that would be a win for someone. You could go from just okay or tolerating to really good. That would be a win. Or you can be like, I'm pretty great. Like good to great. I've not read the book, but I think it's a great title. You could be from good to great or from great to awesome. And coaching helps all of that as long as you show up, trust the process, open yourself up, be open-minded. And it really, really, I hear some dentists say things like, oh, there's so many coaches. Everybody just wants to be a coach. There's a reason that everybody wants to be a coach because the people who have done coaching as the client see how powerful it is and it's life changing. So that's why they want to then go do that. And we may see more of it in dentistry because so many of us love the coaching relationship part of dentistry with our patients. So it's actually a good fit. But I also want to say there's room for more than one of us. There's room for all of us.
Yeah, and that's another reason why we've created the IADLC in a membership where if you're interested or you already are a coach that's serving dental professionals, we've created a community because you're right. A lot of people that end up going through coaching think, wow, this is pretty cool. I either want to do this as a new career or as a side gig, and coach, because they got benefits out of it. And they're like, this is so cool. I want to coach too.
Absolutely. Why? And then you're empowered because the coaching has allowed you to empower yourself. And notice I didn't say the coaching has empowered you. The coaching has allowed you to empower yourself. It's all you. It's all you, baby.
Yeah. And I said the word side gig because you are like the master of helping people with side gigs or like even a career change. Tell me all about how you help people there.
Yeah, so um, because when I was in practice, I eventually realized that the best move for me would have been or was to leave clinical practice. And part of the vehicle, and so many of us do this. We go from 5 days a week to four, thinking it's going to help. We go from 4 days a week to three, thinking that's going to help. If that doesn't help and you're still spending 7 days a week dreading your life, then that's a wake up call. So, but I love the side gig because as dentists, we are safe. We are conservative. We're not going to jump off the career cliff and just say, "Oh, let me try to we've gotten to the top of the totem pole and it's served us really well. So we're not going to just throw that away. And this is why I love the side gig because just like you, I mean, you're still practicing pretty full time, Blocky, but you have side gigs. That's the beauty of dentistry is it allows us to explore other things while we maintain the safety of our income and our career. And we can, like what other careers allow you to then go to 3 or 4 days a week and still make a decent living while you explore something else and build that side gig up and slowly decrease your main gig so that dentistry suddenly becomes your side gig. And then ultimately, if you want, you can stay there or you can phase it out. But it's just the best vehicle for the safe, rational, logical people that we are as dentists. So everyone I know I would say 95% of the people I know who've had any sort of career pivot, whether it's a total change or just changing the way you practice, it's been through a side gig. So that's what I teach. And
And
I help
is
people start them.
is that come from within the client where, you're working through what they're going through and you find out and they find out maybe they just want to leave dentistry completely, or they thought they did, but they still want to stay in, but they're just looking for, some other avenues or some other things to do.
Yeah, that's part of the process. So people often think that, oh, I'm just going to say I want a side gig and then I'll reach out to Laura and she'll tell me a list of things that I could do for extra income. And I don't work that way because if that worked, we would already have people doing that. Everybody would be doing that. What really works is getting to know who you are and what you want. So even taking, Vera Marks, she's my executive assistant, who is one of my clients. And she learned through our work together that she really thrives on having variety. And she was very, very unhappy in dentistry. She's been doing it for a long time. And she just felt like it was creating so much anxiety and stress for her. So her initial intent was to find a new career. So over the time of all of our work together, she really tried a lot of different things, really got to know herself with really, I like to help people explore without it costing them a lot of time and money. And she just jumped right in and did it. And she learned so much about herself along the way. She ended up offering to be my assistant, and she's so much more than that. And that was a side gig that she got. And then she found this non-clinical side gig that is perfectly suited to her, mentoring other dentists. And she had an opportunity to go full time in her non-clinical job. And she had to really think long and hard about it because that was her initial intent. Well, along the way, she found this amazing associateship that's better than any other clinical job she's ever had. And she realized one thing about herself. She loves the variety. And so now she's doing 2 days a week clinically, 2 days a week in her non-clinical job, and then, about 30 hours a month side gig helping me. And she's loving life. She's happy. She doesn't feel like she has to need. And by the way, her income's great. Like it's working for her. And she's even said that it's actually more than when she was just doing one thing. So
And
there's so many myths in that we want to dispel. And that's why I share her story.
yeah, and she's just probably a lot happier. Um, People always ask me, why you're always, doing these other things or these new things, and what it is, within me that wants to do, what I do. And I think a lot of it goes back to, COVID. Once COVID happened, it gave me the time to reflect. And before COVID, all I knew was dentistry, just clinical dentistry. That's all I knew. And then after COVES, I started thinking about doing other things and I took action and started doing them. And like you said about Vera and a lot of your other clients, is I love the variety. Now I love dentistry more because I have all these other things going on and I enjoy being a dentist more. I enjoy going to work. I don't dread going into work anymore like I used to. So, to me, that word variety hits home. Laura, let's wrap this baby up and tell us where we can find out more about what you're up to, and then just a last little tidbit of advice for the young dental professionals out there.
Okay, so let's start with where you can find me. I do have a guide that I would love to share with you. I'll give you the link, Blocky, that is 6 reasons you're burnt out in your dental career. And I want to share that with your audience. And you can also find me on Facebook. I have a private Facebook group called Dentist Side Gigs. I'm Dr. Lullabies, Dr. Lullabies on Instagram. And if you want to find my website, the best way to find it, the most fun way to find it is to just Google 10 reasons your dentist probably hates you too. And that is the blog that started it all. And your last question was you wanted a piece of advice. Say that question again.
Just advice for the young dental professionals out there.
Yeah. Start with you. Stop looking outside of yourself for the answers for success. Yes, it's important to take CE so you can improve your skills and your practice. And it's important to work on your leadership and your business skills. But all of that starts with you. How are you talking to yourself? How are you choosing to see the world? Because you, with your attitude, your perception, your beliefs, create your reality. So start with you.
It's
You
awesome.
deserve it.
And if you're looking, to become a life coach or a coach and help dentists or dental professionals, or you need the help of a coach, check out the iadlc.com. You can check out our website. And you can also check out our Facebook page, and we're here to help. And Laura, just thank you so much for joining us. Such a pleasure to have you on again.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Blackie.
Thanks again for listening to the Stress Free Dentist podcast. And don't hesitate to get in touch with me at info@thestressfreedentist.com. And if you haven't already, please subscribe on your favorite platform and leave us a review. Until the next episode, I'm Dr. Eric Block, the Stress Free Dentist.